All right, take two because the cats are so unreasonable right now. It's like we never feed them. Anyway, hi friends and welcome to Wives vs. World, where we have fun talking about queer stuff and life as a trans cis lesbian couple. I am the avid reader Jackie.
And I am the published author Anya.
Oh, you went straight for the kill. So you wrote a book.
I did.
Which book?
This book. I wrote this book.
The thing that comes between. So let me just tell you about this book. Let me sell you on this book. So what we have here is a spicy, historical-ish, because it's not set in our history, but is Roman-inspired MM romance. Did I say romance? I think I did, because it's very romantic.
You didn't say fantasy.
It's also fantasy. It is dripping with passion. It is dripping with politics and intrigue and conspiracy. This book is all you ever wanted. And it's all I think that a lot of people wanted. So it's really, really exciting that you just decided to sit down one day and make this in an afternoon.
Yeah, you know, just a little quick something.
I just threw this together.
No, has of course taken years, longer than we've had this channel. We've talked about it a few times on here. But it has been well underway.
Indeed.
But it is here now. It is out. It is published. It can be bought anywhere. So we thought it would be fun to do a little video about it.
A little Q&A-ish kind of thing, just to get things going, so we can spread the good word. Have you heard the good word from the Lord's book?
Am
Is
I
this
the
the Lord?
Lord?
Should I start by telling a bit about like the story, or do you want to do that?
No, you do that.
All right, so the story is centered around our main protagonist, Demetrius. Demetrius is the first elected emperor of his country, which has been run as a brutal, tyrannical empire for a couple of 100 years. But since an overthrow that he and one of his best friends staged a couple of years back, he has been in charge of this sluggish beast of an empire and has slowly been making strides to make the whole thing a better place for the people. He's struggling, of course. This is no easy task. And I think one of the things that the book really delves into is the struggle of expectation, but we'll get back into that. Another stone in the machinery that comes in Demetrius' way is this young, beautiful, limber man called Sinan, who just weasels his way into Demetrius' heart and slowly but surely makes something that could have been, shall we say, predictable, very chaotic. Let's get into some questions, my friend.
Yeah.
What were some of the things that you really wanted to depict in this book? Like, what are some of the themes and some of the feelings that you thought you really wanted to depict?
So first of all, I really wanted to, I've wanted to be a writer for a long time, and I really wanted to write a book that had a queer normative world where the queerness of the characters wasn't the main issue of the novel. I really wanted to see a book that had like a fantasy genre fiction book that had the queer characters be the heroes of their own stories. So I wanted this spicy romance with a really big, grand, like fantasy backdrop. So the inspiration was a struggling emperor of a falling empire. And the story is a lot about trying to live up to expectations that you weren't ready for. Like the main character, Demetrius, he's struggling a lot with the responsibility of being this emperor, a situation that he put on himself, but regardless, just is not ready for. So while he's struggling to basically keep the whole thing together, they have to sign a peace treaty with a neighboring country, lest they be at the edge of war again.
Oh no!
So yeah, they really have to make this work, and a lot of things go wrong.
I think that's something we all like to see in our queer books, that there is some kind of like messiness and they have to make it work even though the circumstances are maybe a bit shaky.
Yeah.
Like, what was the initial inspiration for writing this book? Like, how did this idea come to you?
I got the idea on a trip to Rome where I heard all of these stories about emperors and
hello.
There were all these stories about like emperors and times during the empire, and like all these super intense moments just mentioned in one line, and then this emperor came, and then he was assassinated by a lot of people, and like stuff like that, you know?
You know who it is.
It's just said in one sentence, but that each event must have been so monumental, so intense, so that I got this like idea of an emperor in a like transitional period during the collapse of an empire, and how intense that would be, and how that would feel for this single person in control.
And we touched upon this briefly before, but like, how long did it take you to write this book? Like, how long does it take to write a book?
It took a long time. I got the initial idea in November 2017, and then I worked on this book for most of 18 and 19. And then while I was in school and did my university degrees and all that stuff. And then I had that arm injury that kept me not writing for a long time. And then I had to like format it and get it done and all that stuff, edit it by a professional editor, all that stuff. So yeah, basically since 2018 I've been working on this book. So that's the better part of 5 years this has been underway, while doing other stuff of course, but yeah.
And did you know how to write a book? Did you know how to format it and do all the things that goes into actually making a book? Or did you just pass it on to like a publishing house or something?
It was a real steep learning curve, because when I started out, I was like, I want to write a book and I want it to be published. I want it to be a really good product and I want people to love it. So when I started out, I hadn't written anything creatively for like a decade or more. So I had to like...
Let me just get the cat.
So I really had to figure everything out, like from the the beginning. Like, how do you write a book? You know?
Why do you do this? Why do you do this to mother?
Yeah, you're very pretty. Now go away. I had to figure out how to structure a book with all the the twists I wanted in it, and figure out how to make characters and all that stuff, you know. And then also like how to write good sentences, because I've always been told that I'm good at that, but it's a different beast than when you have 400 pages of worth of
400 pages?
Yeah. How long did you think it was?
I don't know. How long is a book?
So when you have that many sentences like after each other, how do you actually make good writing like that, you know? So it took me a lot of research and reading and learning and getting beta readers and all that stuff that goes into actually becoming an accomplished writer. Before I had a product that was good, and then of course a professional editor. And yeah, I chose to go the indie publishing route, so I've published it myself, which I'm really proud of. So I also had to learn to format and how to sell it online and all that stuff. All of it has like taken a long time, but I've also learned so much along the way.
Was it hard? Was it difficult to write this book, or did it like just flow out of you? You know what I mean?
I feel like I'm a struggling person, you know. I don't do things easily, like in general.
And you make them harder for yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
If I do that.
Because I guess I was really concerned about the end product. I wasn't just writing to have fun, you know. I was writing to make a story that would be enjoyable for readers. And when that's your end goal, it just is kind of difficult, you know. So at the beginning, like the ideas, the initial ideas, all the scenery, the setting, all that stuff came easily to me. But like trying to get that into a cohesive story with really good characters, where everything worked well, that did not come easy to me at all. And the writing certainly didn't either. But it with work, I've gotten better, obviously. I like putting in the work that makes something good and makes it shine.
And I think you've managed that. Can I say despite? But like, you've written a main character that might not be everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that he's disagreeable, it's that he, like you, I think we can establish, is a bit of a struggler. Why did you choose to go for that and not like a more conventional, main character?
I guess the main character is like a fan favorite. People who resonate with the book really like him. But he is a person in a position of a lot of power, you know, an emperor. So people expect him to have things under control. They expect him to be a great leader, to know what to do, all that stuff. But what we have instead is a guy who just is not equipped for the task at hand, who wanted something beyond his abilities and is struggling a lot to make that work and is relying a lot on the advice of people around him. And that just, I guess that doesn't sit right with everyone. People, maybe some people probably like leaders who are a bit more capable. And he has been criticized for not being a great leader, but like that's the story, you know? That is what the book is about.
Does that hit home? Is that you? Did you put yourself into this character?
Definitely. A lot of my struggles from real life is the fictional struggles amplified in Demetrius, the main characters. The trying to be good enough without really getting there, or like breaking your back in the process, being burned out, not being able to handle a situation that you put yourself in, and not knowing how to quit either. Kind of like that, you know? He's also, you know, kind of hot-headed, kind of temperamental, kind of stubborn. A lot of traits that he shares with me.
So this is your first published story?
Yes.
Your first book proper? Yep. You could have written any book in the entire world, like you could have written about anything, but here we are with this very, very queer piece. Why was it important to you that you actually wrote a queer book? Like you could make the argument that it would be more popular if it was, say, like a straight YA or something.
Yeah, definitely. Also the whole niche of making low fantasy, because there's no magic or stuff like in it, which is definitely making it a much smaller audience. But like this is the story that I wanted to tell, because I hadn't read a queer genre fiction book where being queer wasn't the main issue until I was 25 or something. And which I just think is a shame, you know, because I wasn't a big reader as a kid actually, because I didn't resonate that much with the stories. But then I started reading queer fantasy books and it was like, yes, this is it, you know, this is the good stuff. So I wanted to write a book that gave other people the experience and intense feelings that I had gotten from reading queer fantasy books.
So is this a standalone book?
No, this is not a standalone. It's book 1 in a series of 4 books in total.
Damn.
Yep.
Like go big or go home.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a duology, but book 2 kind of became 3 books because I wanted to fit so much plot in there. And when I started like getting into book 2, I saw that it would work much better as more books. You can look forward to that. Coming years.
So this is not like the complete, we get from A to B and we have a total like progression of story and character. It's a multi-installment art.
Definitely. This is the beginning of a series, you know? You're not getting all the resolutions in book 1, you're not seeing all the character development in book 1, but it is coming. The romance especially is a really complicated one that is gonna take some books to
really explore.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm very excited about that.
Would you be opposed to maybe writing a WLW book at some point, like a more sapphic lesbian experience?
Not at all. Thank you for asking.
You're very welcome.
There's also a sapphic couple in the books.
I wonder who they're inspired by.
And I also have sapphic works in the making. I have lots of ideas for queer stories that I want to keep writing for the rest of my life, hopefully. Especially if you all help me and I sell a ton of books.
All right, calm down. So we talked about how Demetrius was inspired by you in, like, you know, a big way. Are other characters in your book inspired by people in your life, or did they come, like, did you fabricate them whole cloth?
I created the characters by thinking what kind of conflict do I want, and then what character traits do these characters need to have to get that dynamic. So a lot of it is inspired by our relationship and traits that I've found.
So? Oh, let's not get into that.
I needed the love interest Sinan to be like the worst possible match for Demetrius while being absolutely irresistible.
Just like us.
No, that doesn't have anything to do with us. Sinan is very much inspired by my younger self, the promiscuous type who deals with his problems in not the best of ways. I also wrote a lot of this book while in the very deep depths of depression, and at that point I really missed that old part of myself that was like carefree and able to deal with all the stuff by putting on a happy face and just doing whatever, you know. And then I have a very competent leader in opposition to Dimitris, the minister for the other country that they're making a peace treaty with, whose name is Dia. She's very competent, she's very pretty, she's very clever, witty. And she's of course inspired by my wife. She's inspired by like your business persona, you know?
Witty, competent, clever.
Yeah, your at-home self, not so much. And a lot of a few of the minor characters are also inspired by you as well. Oh. Like different aspects of our personalities, you know? Okay, so I have a question for you as well. Oh. Because this is all obviously from my perspective, but you have been involved a lot in this process.
I have.
And usually this would not be the kind of book that you would pick up because you're not that into gay romance stories.
No, I'm not really a romance sort of person.
No, exactly.
I like the additional romantic subplot, but I'm really more into different kind of things.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you did like this book, and
I loved it.
I was wondering, like, what was your favorite part of this book?
I think what I liked the most was, like, first and foremost, how earnest and how good the book actually is. Like, you are sort of under obligation to tell your significant other that what they're engaging is good. But like this book, I have poured so many of my own hours and energy and everything into it. I made the cover. I was there from day one almost, and I've been here until like now and for the rest of the series. So I really, really believe in this story. I think it hits so many good points. But one thing that I really, really like is how it is able to juggle an intense political plot with very tender, very spicy, and very confusing romance. Like, I don't think that one thing comes at the cost of another. I think you're incredibly good at like seamlessly weaving these plots together in a way that enhances and not detracts from each other.
Who's your favorite character?
It changes, honestly, like with my mood. But like right now, I can't say Dia because like it's me.
She's a fan favorite.
She's a fan favorite. And she's pretty awesome. But I do actually really like Sinan on this day.
That's not your usual answer.
No, my usual answer is not Sinan. But like today it is.
Yeah.
There's another character, a smaller character, a supporting character, who is also inspired by you, who I love dearly. But today is Sinan because he is audacious. He is so fucking rude.
Yeah.
And he's just in your face about what he wants. But then again, he has a catch to him, you know?
Yeah.
Like the audience never doubts that Sinan is not completely honest. But
exactly how is really hard to tell.
Exactly. It's gonna blow your mind.
Yeah.
All right. Final question. Who's this book actually for?
This book is for people who like queer stories, first and foremost. It was written for fans of books like Captive Prince, The Song of Achilles, The High King's Golden Tongue, like low fantasy with gorgeous settings, interesting character dynamics, twists,
turns,
intense feelings.
Explicit sex scenes.
Yes, not forgetting that.
No.
So yeah, because I tore through all those books back when I found those, and I was just like, I need more. I need more of these books. There need to be more that makes me feel like this when I read it.
And then there weren't any, so you had to write it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how As We Fall was born. Like people who are looking for queer genre fiction, queer fantasy in general will enjoy this. And also as a side note, like a lot of trans women have read it already. And even though it is a gay romance, I am told that it still hits home. So you can do it with who you want with
a cross-identity journey into the mind of a perverse queer author.
Yeah, exactly. It is queer more than it is anything else. It is available as an ebook and a physical book, and we are slowly beginning to work on an audiobook of it as well. Available worldwide, and if you are in Denmark, you can also get it signed by me, buy it directly from me if you're near Copenhagen. So you can hit me up if you are interested in that. Yes, I am very active on Instagram about my writing journey. I am also advertising the book on TikTok, and I have a newsletter in the description that you should go sign up for if you want to keep track of book updates. And I have a website also linked where there's more about the where there's more about the book and the journey. You can also check out its Goodreads page where there are a bunch of reviews which are incredible. So you can go check out those if you want to learn more about what other people think of it. And you can go and follow me on there as well. If you are one of all the people who have read the book already, tell other people something about it in the comments.
What did you like the best?
Yeah.
Why should they buy it? Or
who was your favorite character?
Exactly. And if you haven't read it, what would be something you would like to see? What are your hopes? Are you going to get this book, or like, what are your thoughts? We can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
We hope you liked this video, and if you did, you can subscribe for more.
It's true.
We try to upload like sometimes. Like we want to get back on a weekly schedule. It's going to be a while until things stabilize because big things are happening. But if you just can't get enough, you can find us on some of the sites that Anya talked about. You can find a complete list in the description. Just click through the links if you're so inclined. And yeah, we'll talk to you there if we don't talk to you here. And I guess that's it.
We hope to see you next time. Bye.
Bye. So what we have here is a spicy, romantic, historical... Hello. He's so interested in the book.
Even my cat loves it. Your cat will love it too.
Stop.